This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
All right, welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Again, as always, presented by Pilot Games. Make sure if you're out there playing the E-tabs or if you're out there enjoying a libation, wherever they might be present, jump on those tablets because when you play, your community wins. Pilot Games, terrific sponsor. We love these guys, love having them on the show. Kinger, speaking of the show, I see that your upper lip is not showing just a straight mustache.
I apologize. I know. So here's the deal. I did go to the health club this morning, and I did have a razor in my bag, and I knew I would see you. I just wasn't comfortable bringing the submarine out of the water yet, and I need a couple more days with scruff and then a shave down. I know that's like against the rules of Movember, right? Because the journey, part of it's just being out on stage, comfortable with the different stages of your mustache, and I'm breaking those rules now by giving myself a little runway.
But it's like therapy too, and part of what I think men struggle with is admitting the fact that they have health issues or that they should go get it checked out and different things. And being vulnerable and not comfortable in these spots is all part of it. So absolutely, you can't look at that razor and say the easy choice right now is to put this razor down. It's more comfortable for me. It's you know what? It is hard to admit that maybe I need some help. Maybe I should see a doctor. So you've got to get that razor. You've got to stare at
I will.
knock it down and walk around embarrassed at the stage at which your mustache is in.
I apologize to you, Ryan. I apologize to the listeners. I think Middleton's, like when Middleton shaved down, besides Tom Selleck, there's no one else that's more uncomfortable to see without a mustache. But the fact that it grew back like the Santa Claus, like even the first day, you could see the Etch-a-Sketch markings of where it was coming back, and it's already like back. So I think that hurt that made me less comfortable, walking on stage with you. And I should have done it. I'm not.
Wait, are you talking about Middleton's mustache made you
less uncomfortable
to be on stage with me?
I'm tying a lot of things together that aren't related. I just know I should have shaved down because I'm not really doing it.
Right.
Okay. So
I'm
going to do it.
You're hiding it.
The sub is coming out of the water. And there is going to be a webpage on Movember. Maybe Carter will give $100. I'll give $100, and that might be all we do. But we're trying to do it right. We're trying to be vulnerable.
I can't remember now. Did we engage in like a competition? Was there going to be a competition?
Well, I think it should be. I think like a Middleton or a Hartman, some of these guys, because they're also doing it. Jake and Hartman are doing it, not with us, but for their own reasons. And I think someone like that coming in at the end, or a Patty Maroon, our guest today, someone coming in and sort of with the gavel, maybe with the Wild Construction gavel, making a final call. But I'll be docked points because I started late.
Well, maybe we'll have an internal competition, but if you'd like to donate to our Movember page, check out the socials for Wild on 7th, and you'll be able to find a link to donate. If you want to donate on my behalf, just have that little mustache emoji, and if you want to donate on Kinger's behalf, just put a full beard up there for him.
Okay. And join us, please. Do it with us. We'd like to have other people.
And send your pictures. All right, enough of the upper lip sweater talk, but you do have a nice sweater on, like it's crazy today. Nice. You look sharp. I don't know. Do you have a business meeting this afternoon or?
Just had a little bit of kind of got loose this weekend. I really enjoyed the game on Saturday, so sometimes dressing more professionally it's like the guy in the second season of The Bear, the brother. Like if you just wear a suit, you just feel better about yourself.
So like if you have a bad case of Sunday scaries, Monday morning you're going to look your best.
If you see me in a tuxedo, you know that
it's a big weekend.
You know that I got out of jail that morning. Yeah, that's making me feel a little cleaner.
Yeah.
But what a night, Saturday night in St. Paul. God, did we need it. It was just. Did you watch it? I know you didn't do the game, but what was your program? Where were you coaching?
No, I was watching, tuned in, running around with the kids. But I mean, I had to. I'll be honest. I was contemplating the premise of the podcast for the first 10 minutes of that game. You know, like they have a hard practice. Let's just go through everything that occurred. We
got to talk about the hard practice.
They had lost 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 6 to 7, whatever it was. And Dean tried to kill it with kindness, and that didn't work. So they went out and didn't play well at home against Jersey. They didn't like that game after 2 days off. And so then Mean Dean came to town and thought that would get things going. And all of a sudden it's 3-0. And that's kind of like and they weren't playing poorly, but they're down 3-rip, and it's like, is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Like, is this it? Because it kind of felt like the season was potentially hanging in the balance, didn't it? If they lose like 5-rip to the Rangers after a tough practice, long skate, Mean Dean, it just felt like, oh my goodness, it could spiral.
It gets hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was the practice they really get worked at a practice.
Well, we couldn't watch it because we sat here ready to interview.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's going to be a great interview to set up the podcast. We sat down with Pat Maroon, and he was terrific. He's gracious, gave us a bunch of time. Turned out to be a long day for us that day, but it was an hour long. So we'll just have today's podcast, Kinger and I, set up the interview. Then we'll leave the interview to hang there, and you can digest it as you will, because I think it's about 60 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So, but that was great. But we had to wait around 2 hours to get Maroon.
Yep.
Because the practice was a little bit longer and a little bit more intense than what is normally the case before a game.
No, and I like, so there's some things that emerged this weekend. So Zuki's the one guy, as I understand it, that does interviews after the horrible practice. And I guess he's known for this. When things get really, the darkness before the dawn, he's the guy standing there talking about it. And I guess, saying, yeah, we deserved it. We're trying this approach now. He also shows up with a goal and an assist on Saturday night. Marc-Andre Fleury off of the bench is just the coolest. Having the Flower be your guy that can jump over the boards, and in a shootout, I mean, there's nobody better in a shootout. I mean, that's like what he lives for. Mm-hmm. He enjoys playing hockey like a game. In a shootout, most goalies, I think, especially the modern goalies, they hate the shootout. Fleury's just like, yeah. I might do a little spin.
Well, he set the record, I think, for most shootout wins shootout win.
He's a great shootout goalie. As Freddie is as a shootout shooter, I mean, I feel very comfortable having Flower in net for that. But I went down to the game. It was the first moment of the season. We've been waiting. The Boldy bounce.
Yeah, we've been talking about
this Boldy bounce on the shootout where it hits quick, and before he can grab it, it just rolls into the net, and we grab victory out of the jaws of defeat. It was awesome. And I realized I met pregame at Memento, this new, that's not really new, but this place down the street in St. Paul. It's basically called Moment. I went to a restaurant called Memento, and we had our first moment of the season. Some Wild on 7th fans bought me a shot before the game. I don't even know what it was. Went into it.
Did they call it Off the Crossbar and In? Is that the name of the
They
shot?
should have. They should have. And I just had such a good time down there. I had this feeling, even when it was 3-0, like this isn't over yet. They were out shooting them 2-1. There was just too much angst and anxiety. I mean, we had seen the faces of the people that had been through the practice, and then Hartsey coming through, Rossi coming through, Kirill with the great pass, Brock Faber playing 17 hours of hockey with his visor popped up on top of his head. It was a great night. Giving high fives to the people sitting behind you, it's just, that's the best. When you're just at a game, your team's winning, they kind of came from nowhere, and you're giving high fives to strangers.
What was it like the first period, first 10 minutes down.
Here's the deal. The crowd didn't get a tight sphincter. I don't know what it was. I don't know if they were just kind of tuned up or what, but I think they all paid their money. I'm here on a Saturday night to do this. And for whatever reason, even when we were down 3, you had a little bit of like the Bronx cheer when Fleury came in and he made a save. You could hear the crowd cheer extra loud, like, oh, turns out we can stop one. But no, they were like strapped in. Like, we paid for 60 minutes. It's been kind of lousy the first 5, but let's see what happens. I was surprised. There was no booing or like.
And I think that the Wild are fortunate too because this is almost exactly what they needed. They needed a moment. They needed a certain kind of game too. I think it was helpful that it's the Rangers in town. Original 6, New York's in town. They come out 3-0. Yeah, they're a good squad. And
I do think that helped because you're kind of like, well, I'm getting my money's worth no matter what. If this is a Super Checks game, it looks kind of cool because the Rangers are playing us.
Yeah, and it's North Star 78.
Yeah, the 78s is another thing too. I'm thinking when they wear those jerseys and all the fans are like synced up with this. So when I went to the Memento, the whole restaurant was wearing 78s. So I'm like, oh, they must be wearing the jerseys tonight. Sure enough, like the fans are like dialed on the calendar when this is happening. And it seems like we're a little bulletproof with those jerseys on.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Rangers, the 78s, you get down 3-0 early. But the most important part was that they were like the better team, that they were playing.
Dominating.
Yes. But there needed to be like a reinforcement that if you play the way that you should, the way that
be rewarded,
that we've constructed this team to play a certain style, you play that style, you will get rewarded. And it takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of sandpaper. It's not always easy. It's not the prettiest, but it works. And I think to a man, they were all committed. What I saw watching that game too is it was like a relentless attack in terms of being over the top of pucks. So like back pressure, forecheck, everything. Every time a Ranger looked up with the puck on their tape, there was a green and yellow jersey coming in their direction fast. And I think it made the Rangers uncomfortable, and that's what it looked like to me at times, is that the Rangers were just entirely uncomfortable, disinterested. They couldn't get out of their zone at times, and we haven't seen really heavy forecheck shifts like that at all this year, where 5 guys are just flat out outworking the other 5 guys, and they're just no answer. And the Wild had a few of those shifts, and the greatest one probably is, and I'm getting mixed up, but I think it was the Zuccarello or Rossi goal, where it's the Rangers did everything they could just to get the puck past the blue line, but it's a quick reattack, and then eventually, boom, it's the skill comes through, they make a play, they finish and score. But it felt like as soon as that game went 3-2, didn't it feel like, wow, they're winning? Yeah. That's what I felt watching it. As soon as, who scored the second one? Was it?
Eck, maybe?
Yeah, Ecker. As soon as Ecker gets that one, it was like, okay, they're winning this one.
Yeah, it was just... the other thing is when the Wild are playing their game, there's not a lot of pucks getting to our net either, right? So it was great that Fleury came in relief, and he was great in the shootout, but really there weren't a lot of not much was getting to our net. Even when they had the 3 goals, they had like 5 shots, right? And they kind of stayed at that number for 10-minute chunks, and we were the ones firing pucks to the net. Didn't we have like 100 chances or something?
Yeah, but the thing is it's not like the Wild just defended so well that the Rangers didn't get any shots. It's that they just pressured so much. It's not like they hunkered down, blocked shots. And I bet you possession time, puck on tape, was pretty close to even. It's just that the Rangers just never had space. It was always tough, just a complete battle. But I think as individual players, teams, there's also like this internal belief that you have to believe that you're in this game, that it's never over till the final buzzer rings, and all these different things. And when you put your best foot forward and you don't succeed, which I think the Wild were doing, that one hurts. That one stings a little bit. Like, you play good, you play great, and all of a sudden you lose 4-1. That would have crushed everybody, I think. Personally, that stinks, because that's when you start to look in the mirror and you say, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe I need to work on some stuff, and but they were rewarded. And then now it's a reinforcement of, okay, you guys, you got it.
That's what I like about looking at the schedule too, is you could just see this game, especially after the Jersey loss. It was like, yeah, this is a pimple that needs to pop one way or the other. Yeah. There's some stuff going down Saturday night. I got to go check this out. I think
That's kind of how I sold the tickets to the game too. We're like, yeah. I think you're going to want to be at this one.
See what happens to our hero. He's standing on a cliff. I thought it was. I love a game like that. I think you might see the same thing this coming Sunday with Dallas coming to town, a team we don't like. So we're going to have to go out on the road with Islanders, Rangers again, Sabres back-to-back. And then you get Dallas in town, matinee, before taking basically a week before Sweden. There's a lot of pressure on that 5 o'clock start Sunday against Dallas, too. I think there'll be some hate in the building.
Yeah. No.
Jamie Benn, it's... I don't know. It's another. I like when you can circle them. Say, let's see. This is a tester.
Yeah, the statement games.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. This is the team that bounces from the playoffs. Let's go take a look. Let's kick the tires again. This road trip's a big deal too because we didn't do so well last time. But I do expect. If you come back with stories about bike gangs and buying things from merchants on Canal Street, we know that we didn't put any points in the bank.
Yeah, so I think we should probably take a second too and talk about the lines being split up and if they're going to keep that going forward. I think Dean was reluctant, and I give him credit. Like, he holds firm, lets the guys try to work themselves and their way out of their own troubles, and if it eventually isn't working, then he does switch it. And then when he switches it, it works. I've played for coaches before that
won't switch.
Oh, they switch
all the time.
You might have one tough shift, and it's boom, done. You guys are done together. And it's
probably don't like that as a player, right?
Well, you get used to it. I just think that the change doesn't have as big of an impact when you do it frequently. And maybe coaches that like to change lines more often are just looking for a slightly different, look throughout the game versus like a jolt. And I think Dean's way gets a jolt, and I think almost every line was better on Saturday night than they were the previous 3-4 games, right? And
they were good the end of the Jersey game too, really. They started to play much better when he mixed it up. So, it's working. Offense hasn't necessarily been our problem. So I think he'll probably stick with them.
I think that's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. That offense hasn't been the problem. If you look at the fancy stats and the high danger chances and different things, the Wild offense they were 7th in the NHL. I don't know where they're at right now, but the fancy stats said that there was some luck to that they've been scoring on the chances. They haven't been generating as much as some of the other teams in the NHL. So there's an element of luck. So you always go through stretches where teams are saying, we played great, we got our chances, we just didn't score. There's the flip side to that coin, where you're not playing great, you're not getting many chances, but you're scoring. I think the Wild were on a run like that, and they weren't getting points on it, which makes it sting a little bit. But I think that the new line makeup almost flipped that script a little bit, where you started to see scoring chances 5-on-5 and them manufacturing them versus getting them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I thought the lines were great. Pat Maroon, he's the interview today, and we talked to him before this game. But his ability to make a play on the backhand is pretty impressive. This guy can distribute the puck. He's got good vision. He's always looking for like the second layer. That I really liked that line, Foligno, Eck, and Maroon. I think that one has the chance to be something. It's crazy because it's kind of like the Grief line again. There's a big rig on the wing. Yeah. It's just a different big rig.
That's true. No, yeah, he's been fun to watch. I think people forget how good a hockey player Pat Maroon is. I think he became more of a character, and really he can do a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot. He's hard to get the puck from. He was spinning around the ice carrying it, and they can't take it from him. Big body. No, so I like the lines. I think we've got good. It's really spread out nice, and you're seeing everybody step up.
Yeah.
Whether it's Eck, Zuki, Hartman, all of it. They're all the different lines are stepping up.
So let's also talk about that quick. I think there's one or two ways that splitting up Kaprizov and Zuccarello could have gone. You could have seen these guys just kind of pout's maybe not the right word, but it illustrates what I'm talking about, where they just kind of like sulk a little bit, like they're not feeling good, opportunities taken from them, and then they play differently. Instead, I think they both did it the right way, where they responded, they played well, they played hard, they were separated, they didn't take it personally, and they were good. Man, kudos to those guys for getting it going too, and Zuccarello, statement game for him.
Oh, absolutely. I consider myself like a Swiftie of Kirill and Zuki. I'm pretty dialed into the inner workings. Zuki, this guy I think sometimes gets a bad rap. Is like he's the wicked stepsister of Kirill or something. He's like he's keeping them all to himself or something. The guy takes the heat with reporters when we're at our darkest time. He goes out and plays against his former team without his buddy and gets a goal and an assist. Pro's pro. Kirill is just grinding. The thing with Kirill is he can still tell he's not having fun yet. It's hard. Everything's been hard. And at some point, it's not going to be hard. Something's going to happen where it's easier for him, whether he's playing a weaker team or whatever happens. But, that assist he had just sitting there waiting to give it to Rossi. But, yeah, they both responded. They didn't sulk. They didn't pout. Zuki stood up to the firing squad and said, hey, we got to be better. And then he was better. And I think Kirill, if he's showing us anything, it's his face. He wants it more than the Wild fan base, I think. And maybe that sometimes hurts because he's too tight on the stick. But, they both responded and well when they, I think maybe people thought they would have sulked, like you said. But no, pros.
Yeah, you know what else Zuki probably wants is a crisp, nice coleslaw to go alongside of a nice, meaty.
That's a great segue because I think Jimmy's coleslaw is the ultimate line mate.
Yeah.
So whether you're playing with Kirill or not, throw it on a burger, right? Throw it on a seared sesame tuna. Throw it on a barbecue slider. Basically, don't sleep on the slaw.
Don't sleep on the slaw.
It's the ultimate line mate. Actually, did you know, Carts, the number one selling coleslaw dressing in the state of Minnesota is Jimmy's. We beat the national guys. Our hometown team is better. They have original. Pineapple's my favorite, and fat-free. It's got a distinct, tangy flavor. So check out Jimmy's coleslaw, Jimmy's salad dressings and dips. Don't you be messing with my dressing. Dean has constructed a lot of new lines.
He has.
And I think they're finding some load-bearing walls.
They are, and maybe they can use that. That's a nice transition.
You're welcome.
You're getting better at the tape to tape.
I'm working on it.
But yes, if they do start to crumble, or if there's another storm that comes to town, whatever it might be, and the Wild have to weather that storm, they're going to want to make sure that they've got a comfy home and place that they can retreat to, hang out, and be safe. And that's what Wild Construction can certainly make sure that you have. So if you were in one of these areas last year that had hail, Minneapolis, my area had it in the northeast suburbs, go to wildconstructionmn.com. Check out their hail maps, their research tools, their estimate tools. They've got it all there for you. One-stop shop. You submit your stuff. Our guys will give you a call. They'll come over, jump on your roof, do the dirty work, and let you know what they have found, and they'll get you taken care of. Wildconstructionmn.com. They'll make it happen.
Good work, buddy. You want to do some shenanigans?
I want shenanigans.
Okay.
It feels good to be able to do some shenanigans. Yeah. And I know it's one game.
I got a whole bunch of shenanigans.
I know it's one game, and we shouldn't just get so excited and ride this roller coaster, but the game was that important.
I was so excited.
The game was that important that, yes, I want shenanigans. Let's take it.
I went home. I ate a frozen pizza myself. I was just high fives. The people sitting behind me were part of the ice crew. So a couple young gals that are part of the Quick Trip Ice crew might have told them they could be on the pod. Not sure if that's actually something we can do. But they were great. And so I played Hot Lap with my wife. If you remember this game, I think this is the greatest game. We got to find a way to put it on the app, the Wild app. But simple premise, all hockey fans know you take a lap between periods. It's enjoyable. You might see someone you know, and you have enough time to do it. You pick 3 things for the people to find that are going against you. And whoever sees the most of those things wins that round of Hot Lap. So this one was controversial because I picked for my wife a Chris Kreider Rangers jersey, not that hard, a lot of Ranger fans in town, a face tattoo, which became a real hot button, and then anything with White Bear Lake. So like that, I mean, someone in the building's probably from White Bear. She picked for me a jersey of any other team besides the Rangers and the Wild, which proved to be a lot harder than I thought, a leather jacket, off-season kind of, and a Canada Goose coat. Those were the 3 for me. I won 2-1. I got the Canada Goose, and someone was wearing a Mighty Ducks jersey.
So what's the goal of selecting the other person's must find to make it as challenging as possible?
No.
It has to be reasonable.
It's not fun if you make it too challenging.
It has to be reasonable.
Reasonable, but fun. Like it's more creative, I would say. So you'd want to say like, I want a Zuccarello jersey, but on the Rangers. Someone wearing a Zuki jersey on the Rangers. That would be a fun item for Hot Lap on that night. Mm-hmm. I want to see somebody with a hunting edition free giveaway Wild hat. So she was really upset about the face tattoo. She goes on and says, if there were concentric circles of Wild fans and face tattoos, they don't exist. You could have said neck tattoo. When we get back to our seats, I'm not joking, 2 people within 5 feet of us both have face tattoos. I'm like, this is the best. I'm also taking pictures of these people. I don't know why. That doesn't seem like a good idea. It doesn't count. She lost. But it was validating for me to be like, hey, they're here. They're here, honey.
Yeah.
They exist. So that was fun. The other thing, just a public service announcement at Xcel Energy Center. Your drink holder is on your right, okay? And if you're ever wondering, you just look down to the aisle and you say, oh, okay, that seat only has it on the right. So my drink holder is on my right. A lot of times people are taking my drink holder, and then I put my can on the ground and spilled half of a Cutwater pina colada. Spilled it. I mean, that's terrible. Lost that whole half period with that pina colada Cutwater, and it's on the right. That's where the drink holder is. Just look down the aisle. You can do the math. Your drink holder's on the right. So I hope that message gets through to the fan base.
Dude, if you're like me,
it bugs me though. I'm like, I lost it. I wouldn't have kicked that over.
But if you're like me, I have to put my drink down to slow myself from drinking it, because if I don't set it down, I don't know if it's nervous energy or what, but it's like sip, 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 sip.
Oh, I'll skip a period
too. Speaking of Sunday
too.
Scaries, if I don't set it down, watch out.
Yeah, I hate the Sunday Scaries.
But I get them because I have to cognitively. If somebody put their drink in my drink holder, that means I'd be holding it the whole time. I'd be.
It doesn't help. No,
and I'd be chugging.
Yeah. So I lost. I was on a different pace because of the drink holder. But I just think if people listen to the podcast, and we can all understand, your drink holder is on your right, I think we're helping everyone out.
So I broke a rule Saturday night. Well, I don't know if it's a rule. 7 p.m. start. 8 p.m. starts, no kids, right?
Well, I just generally think no kids, but that's my opinion. Yeah, I would say if you get into the Thunderdome, starts. 8 p.m. starts, let's leave the kids at home. They got to be at least 12.
So I had my 9-year-old go to the game on Saturday, and she was absolutely pumped.
It was 7 p.m. start, though.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So it's okay.
Yeah. It's early in the season.
She went with a couple buddies for a buddy's birthday. Izzy, happy birthday, Izzy. They got to ride on the Zamboni.
Oh, really?
The intermission.
Nice.
So they were doing the princess wave. No, man. So that was a lot of fun. But she came home. I was curious, face tattoo, because she did come home with a face tattoo.
That could have counted, actually. If you saw a kid that got a tattoo in a tattoo station and it was on the face, 100% counted.
That counts.
See, that's exactly what the game's about. That's a fun win. It's not about screwing the other person.
Yeah.
It's about finding 3 really interesting, goofy things and having a really good game.
I heart Wild.
Yeah.
Right on the cheek.
Yeah. See, that would have counted.
So
that
she
would have
got-
been amazing.
She got home late too, and was like,
She did her job though. You got to keep track of how your kids do at Wild Games. So she went to a
she
big
told
game
me.
and she won. She was a part of a huge victory, the Boldy Bounce, first moment of the season. You got to keep track of that.
So she came home and told me, she goes, Dad, I said in the first period that they were going to come back and score 3 goals and that they were going to win. I said that, Dad.
Breaking the mold.
And I was like, Natalie, they did it because you said it. You know. So
Well, it is believe until you make other believers.
So she honestly thinks that she helped the Wild win that game.
But she did.
She did.
She did.
Yeah. And she felt bad because she got home. She had the face tattoo, but she didn't want to wreck her pillow or wake up looking like, I don't know, a Halloween character. So she had to have the tattoo cleaned off at night.
And that was emotional for her
It was, yeah.
because she wanted to sleep with it.
Yeah. She felt a part of something, but she also didn't want to like wreck her pillow in her face. But we took care of it. But yeah, so she did her part. You're right. That was kind of fun.
That's good. Current favorite child. Yes, nice work. The other thing I'm trying to think what else. It was just fun down there. St. Paul, when the Wild are going, it is just great. You know, Herbie's after. Just a good energy in the building, and to get that victory and to have so many people play a key role. And we got to talk about Rossi and Faber.
We got to talk about Radio Joe too.
Yeah.
Radio Joe's bold prediction
I know.
was Rossi 5 goals in 10 games.
And what did it end up being?
5 and 11.
And he knew it too, man. He's got that rooster haircut. He's just peacocking all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Wild
Radio Joe.
Yeah, good. Kudos to him. That's a hot
Bold
take.
prediction.
Yeah, that's a hot take. We'll see how it all plays out, but he's out of the gates quick with that.
I'm not out of the gates well. Just a little update. I said the Wild wouldn't be like top 5 in majors, top 5 in penalty minutes. I think they're both in that. I thought this was the year that they'd be over 50% in the face-off circle. I think they're right where they usually are, 46%.
No, that's not good. I think I'm doing okay because I got the Maroon-aissance. I got 4 guys scoring 80. And there's a lot of distribution of scoring this year, and with the lines changing, I don't know. We'll see if we can get Eck, Zuki, Kirill, Boldy, Hartman. There's some people playing with a point a game. We'll see. I'm not giving up on that one yet.
Yeah, I might have
Helps
one.
when you get 5 points in a game, Hartman.
I might get one of the bold predictions, and we might have to go to Vegas, and I'll have to water my flowers and cut my weeds. You know, just double down on the one that I have a chance at winning.
Do you want to talk about our guest and kind of just set this up, or you have any other content to cover?
Well, before we do that, we should talk about our friends at Cub Foods and Aquarius Home Services. So, Huss, hit us with a little something.
If you're looking for some fresh, delicious milk, you're going to want to check out Cub. 48 hours from farm to shelf. You're not going to find that anywhere else. You're going to pay less. So head on into your favorite neighborhood grocery store, Cub, and get yourself some delicious milk. Lean into it and end up with a Jake Middleton-sized milk mustache. Thank you for being here, Cub.
Kinger, it's time for the AC to be turned off, the heat to be turned on, and if you're looking for a place to get your AC system tuned up, look no further than Aquarius Home Services. In fact, the time to buy is right now. They're in the midst of their fall blowout sale, so if you want comfort and unbelievable prices, right now they've got a 25% discount on whole home heating and cooling systems. And if you need water, they've got whole home water solutions by Connecticut too. You got to act now. The deal doesn't last forever. Get your home heating and cooling systems checked out, or if you're looking for just worry-free water, they've got that there too. But it all starts with a free water analysis. For that, call our friends at AquariusHomeservices.com, or I should say check them out at AquariusHomeservices.com. They're earning the right to be recommended.
All right, nice. Love those sponsors. They make it all happen for us. So please support the people that support us. So, Maroon, some of your notes. We've been wanting this guy on the pod for a while, ever since he signed. What do you have?
Well, about like setting it all up, how great it is.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I didn't know that he. I mean, I knew he played roller hockey. I didn't know. Like, I had observed that he looks like Bobby Ryan. So to get that confirmation,
That was deep.
that floored me. That took me back. I do like that it's like Pat Riley past Pat Maroon, the hairstyle from Miami to Tampa, and then now he's kind of carried it up. By the way, I didn't see Saturday, but it looks like he tightened it up quite a bit. So he's almost got like a fade with what would that hairstyle be called?
Well, it's like a Clark Gable is what he does. He does the slick back,
Pat Riley,
and then he does a little geometric underneath, right, where he's tighter. It's
on the sides.
Yeah,
like
it's not
fade
like
on the
it's
side.
not a Peaky Boys, but it's like Clark Gable mixed with Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
No, he's a stud. The section when we asked him Billy's quote about dragging people into the fight is part of the reason he brought Pat here, especially for playoff hockey. When he talked about winning cups, that answer he did, it was just, I mean, I was on the edge of my seat just listening to a true warrior explain how you do it, what it takes to do it, what kind of mentality you have to have. So I think really,
you could almost hear experience. Like you hear the narratives out of management or articles written about players that are acquired that have cup cred. I think that when Pat Maroon was talking, you could actually hear the experience. Like you could, like, I don't know, you believe it. It felt like, wow, like it really does matter. I loved the part that I loved is he's like, he understood his role, and he's like, part of my job is setting up the other line too.
Yeah.
Which is such a good way to look at it. Like, part of me, it's not always my job to go out there and score, but if I can set the other line up where I'm hard for 40 seconds to play against and we get an offensive zone draw, then the big boys with all the talent come out and make a play and score a goal. Like that's as meaningful to him as making the play himself. I thought that was pretty sweet too.
No, he was great, and we did have a little.
How were you feeling about it?
So this is just, I think this will be entertaining if anyone watches this on YouTube or Bally's.
Let me set this scene first, though. We
waited a long time.
We waited a long time. We got here about 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
We thought we'd be sitting down with them about 11:15, and it turned out to be, 1:30?
1:45 maybe, empty stomach. I had forgotten my laptop in my office, so I really was just kind of twitching. You can't really do stuff on your phone. And he rolls in. First of all, the dude looks like Rip from Yellowstone. He's just a big man with a beard, and he's sitting in the middle of us, and he sets this little tin of what I think is Zin on the table. And I said, you've got some Zin. And he says, he just looks at me like something out of Western. He goes, why? You want one? And I didn't know what the right answer was. I'm like,
Can't say no then.
I'm like, yes, I do. And so I throw one of these things in.
Is that a challenge?
Starting the interview, and it wasn't a normal thing. It wasn't a 2 or a 4 or a 6. I think it might have been a 300, like one of these Siberia deals. And so the first 5 minutes of this interview, I'm looking for a railing to hold on to. It feels like my head's popped off and all my nerve endings are out there. But I can't pull. I didn't want to do like, hey guys, I got to walk one off here. I'm going to be out in the hallway, get a glass of water. We'll restart. It's not like we're live, but like I am just hanging on for dear life. Like during rapid fire, I'm just so, my hands are cold. I was not well. Whatever, I guess, grade of Swedish product he's using is heavier than what you might find at your local convenience store. So I wrote it out like a pro, and I was fine by the end. But that was it was intense. I texted the producer. I just go, hey, not Zin. I'm in one.
I'm Zin one.
Yeah, that was not good. But great interview nonetheless. So happy to have a champion in the room with our guys, and we've had our first moment of the season with the Boldy bounce on Saturday night in St. Paul. Here's Pat Maroon, sponsored by Duke Cannon.
Well, we've been waiting to have this guy here. The Maroon-aissance has already started here in Minnesota, off to a hot start, 7 points, 9 games. Looks like $1 million. Got a cold tub in his house, 3 cups, the big rig.
Can I ask you something, Kinger? How come when like a manly guy comes into the studio, your voice drops a couple octaves?
Yeah,
We've just been talking for an hour, and your voice was probably 3 pitches higher.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I've watched the YouTube video. What is it called? It's so good. It's called Pat Maroon doing Pat Maroon things. You ever watched it?
No, you have to show me.
2 hours, 2 minutes, 9 seconds long. It's a masterpiece. I'll send you a link. But we're happy you're here. How are you liking Minnesota?
I like it. Snowed the other day, but not used to that. But no, it's been good. Enjoying the time here.
Where are you living?
Edina. So we're living out in Edina. It's been good. Found a nice little rental spot out there, and we're just kind of adjusting right now. Daughter's in school, so yeah, we're just trying to make our way around.
Tell us about you, the family. What do you have for kids?
So I have a 15-year-old. I had him when I was 19, and then I have a 2-year-old with my wife, Francesca, now. So obviously Anthony wasn't planned, but he's been a blessing, and he lives in St. Louis with his mom. He comes up and visits throughout the year. He was just here for Goldie's birthday. But he plays AAA hockey, and he's in school, so he's so busy right now. But it's good. And then we have a 2-year-old girl. Girls are the best. I love girls.
Yeah. Yeah, I know all about that. I've got 3 girls. So you got some bulldogs too, right? You got French bulldogs, I
got
see?
2 French bulldogs.
When did you get the French bulldogs?
So I got one for Christmas for Francesca, our oldest, and then she wanted another one, so we got another one from a breeder out in California.
So I had a French bulldog, and we're recording the day after Halloween, and my Frenchie, her name was Ruby, would have celebrated her 13th birthday yesterday. We had to put her down last year. It was a really sad day, but we're healed up to where we're considering another dog. Yeah, and Frenchies are the best.
They're the best. I mean, wherever you go, they go with you. If you go lay on the couch, they lay with you. If you go to bed, they lay with you.
They're like down for whatever. Yeah. You want to go for a run? They'll run with you.
They'll run, yeah.
They'll run out of gas. They'll snort. They'll have an asthma attack. Then they'll drop nuclear bombs right after. But
they're disgusting. And they're a pain, though. Like, I feel like we're always at the vet with them.
Yeah, they're expensive.
They're expensive. And I'm like, God, they're more expensive than my kid and daughter.
No doubt. No doubt. The dogs,
but they're great. They're the best.
What
Right now, they're struggling going outside. They don't really like the cold. So we're working on it right now.
Yeah, it's a tough adjustment from Tampa. Did you live in that sweet area where like there was jet skis and Tom Brady's your neighbor, and what were you in that area?
Yeah, we just bought a house there actually. We still have it. That's where we live in the summer for the last 2 years. So yeah, Davis Island. It's a great little spot. Everyone has a golf cart. There's probably about on Tampa 12 guys that lived on Davis Island, so we can all golf cart. There's restaurants, there's bars, convenience stores, a pharmacy, gas stations.
Yeah, I got to see that. My son lives in Fort Lauderdale, so I got to check out that area. We got to send him through rapid fire, though.
Yeah, we'll get him through rapid fire. I have one question on that, though, because I want to get through some time in Tampa. We just got through Halloween. You ever go to, and I'm sure you have, what's it called in Tampa? Gasparilla, like the Pirate Days?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
What's it called? Is it Gasparilla?
Yeah, it's Gasparilla.
Is that just a blast or what?
It's insane.
When is it?
It's in January. So usually...
Do we play Tampa in January?
If you do, you got to go to Gasparilla. Well, no,
it's usually the last week of January, last weekend, and it leads into like long break.
yeah, for the NHL, you mean?
I
like
think
the week-long break.
We played on that Saturday, so it was a shit show trying to get to the rink.
Oh, because it's right down
It shuts
there.
down Bayshore.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way down Bayshore through
Yeah.
downtown. And it's a disaster, but it's so funny. People start drinking because they have a walk before. They start drinking at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. They just go all day. And there's tents and there's bleachers. There's everything all down Bayshore. So people just walk up and down. There's
Yeah.
beer gardens. There's like VIP sections and everything.
So, and for people that don't know, the way it's set up in Tampa is the rink is probably 2 blocks from the hotel, and then 1 block the other direction is the water, restaurants, a bunch of other stuff. I was playing in Anaheim, and we have our rookie dinner the night before, and then I think it's the same. That's a Saturday that it's on?
Yeah.
Saturday, and I think we end up staying over. It was unbelievable. Everybody's dressed as a pirate. It's like pirate themed, right?
So you know that pirate ship
Yeah.
that's right
Like
on
the
Bayshore?
restaurant pirate ship or whatever it is, right there, yeah.
On Bayshore? That's the pirate ship that goes down. So that's like the big... That's
so
who
it's-
started it. Like those people, they have like what do you call it? Not a cult, but it's like a thing they just do.
group. I don't know.
We don't know anything, so we can't.
So, anyways,
I've been there. It's fun, man. It is fun.
Have you had the wings at that place, Hat Tricks?
yeah, Hatchery's a great
Oh
spot.
my God! So we did the Frozen Four in Tampa last year, so that set up those Marriotts right there, and it is so great.
That's a great bar.
All right, we're gonna take you through rapid fire. You got yours queued up?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is how we kind of settle you in.
Yeah, you seem nervous and apprehensive.
Yeah, you do.
So we're trying to loosen you up.
You would have been a good pirate, actually. So nickname,
Maroon.
heard of it. So the way this works,
So what are we doing here?
so quick answers.
Yeah.
You can just say pass if you don't know it, because it's all about
So you need my nickname?
nickname,
Big Rig.
the original. Weirdest thing in your overnight bag?
Oh,
Eye patch.
I don't know what.
Did you bring anything like anything on the road?
It's
that's
basically
out
if
of the
you're high
ordinary?
maintenance, what do you have to bring? Some dudes need like the dehumidifier,
White noise machine,
a nightlight.
See, I don't have any of that.
So nothing.
gushers.
Nothing. Just my toothbrush and deodorant and.
What do you listen to in the car?
It depends on the day. Country, or I turn on Joe Rogan, or I turn on some podcast.
Nice. What do you got, Carts? We'll go back and forth now.
Yeah, who do you text the most?
Oh, probably my wife.
She's probably a big listener to the podcast. That was a good answer.
Yeah, well,
No, like
Yeah.
like you talking about it like on a team or
No, just in general. That's right. You know.
how about a dude you text the most?
Yeah.
Your number one dude texter.
I talk to Ryan McDonough a lot.
Yeah, he's solid. It's your birthday. Where are you going to dinner? Now, this could be back in town or anywhere.
Burns.
No, Roca.
What's Roca?
It's the best restaurant in Tampa.
Okay.
It's, you know where Armature Works is?
Nope, but I'm going to go to all this stuff.
They just got a Michelin star.
Okay, good to know.
I think
Wow.
it's the first one. Armature Works. You guys got to go there.
All right. Armature Works.
It's like you can go take a boat there. They have those like party boats that you see like on the water. Those like tiki party things.
Well, you check when we play Tampa on the road. I just
It's,
want to know.
it's January.
Yeah, see if it syncs up with this festival.
You got any pet peeves?
Not really. I guess for me, it's just like people not cleaning up after themselves.
Nice.
That drives me nuts. It's just like, it's like my son, for example. Like, instead of just like he just throws it in the dishwasher, like just rinse it off and put it in the dishwasher instead of just throw it in the sink.
You're a step ahead of us, though. Ours is set it by the sink and then walk away. Then we've got to call them back. Then they've got to rinse it. Then they got to put it in. So you're close.
We got the rinse part down. It's just like just put it in.
How
there.
about, so you got a 15-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So how about this setup? They shower, water all over the floor, clothes on the floor of the bathroom, and then just a towel thrown on like a wood railing.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's a pretty good program.
So when he comes and visits me, it's just like I go in his room, everything's on the ground. I'm like, dude, and he grabs a new towel.
Yeah, no, of
Just-
Every time.
Just hang up the one that you just used. It's not dirty.
We think this is the NHL? You a two-towel guy? Come on, man.
green light in any NHL city, full green.
Oh, wow.
Coach just says, Patty, you played great. Go get some. Where do you want that to happen?
Nashville's always good. New York City's fun.
I gotta ask you about that.
Fuck.
Those are good. Hockey jersey you had.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Hockey jersey as a kid.
Who did I have?
Yeah.
I had Brett Hall. I had Chris Prongers. I was a St. Louis Blues guy.
Yep.
Craig Janney was one of my favorites.
Did you just say Cam Jansen?
No, Craig Janney. Fuck Janner. No, I love Janner. No, I'm trying to think.
You already did it.
Brendan Shanahan.
Yeah.
Pre-game meal.
pasta, chicken, vodka sauce.
Standard. That's solid.
Solid.
Vodka sauce is hard to get though on the road. It's usually like red sauce and white sauce.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
red
mix
sauce,
it.
white sauce
And you
mix.
mix it.
That's good. What's your go-to drink at the bar?
Tito's soda water with a lemon.
Good.
Dude, I like that when people throw like the fruit in there. You know, like
Yeah.
I need a lemon. Give me lime.
He's got 3 cups.
First real job,
I was a referee, roller hockey referee.
roller hockey ref.
Did you call it
What'd
tight game? Were you strict or just kind of let the game sort of?
Well, the worst part was that when you're 15, you can do like the old man's league. They would just abuse me and yell at me, and I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to get a paycheck. I make $8 a game. Like, it's not like I'm trying to call a penalty.
I'm hoping to earn a
Sometimes
Subway
I would get
sandwich
scared
after
because
this.
they would just be yelling and screaming at me. I'm like, I would go to the manager. I'm like, I don't know why this guy keeps yelling at me, but I feel like he's gonna beat me up.
A perfect weekend. What are you doing?
Sitting by the water somewhere, lake, boat ride, couple casuals,
McDonough's cabin.
McDonald's cabin, family. I guess. Yeah, I mean the perfect weekend would just be sitting there, enjoying yourself, putting your feet up, having a couple beers.
You have a favorite concert?
I'm a big Hootie guy, a Hootie and the Blowfish guy. So I went there when they were touring in 2019 before COVID. It was fucking awesome.
Have you met Darius Rucker? Have you like golf?
I have met him.
Have you golfed with him?
I have not golfed with him. Is he good?
I think they're big into golf, and yeah, he's a good dude, right?
I think so. Where's he from? South Carolina?
Yeah, can't be that bad a dude if you're from South Carolina.
I'm a big country guy too. So
What's your country like? Are you like Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen, Tyler Childers? Are you more radio country? What do you like?
no, I like those. I like Zach Bryan, Luke Combs. I like all those guys. And Morgan Wallen's good.
Stapleton.
Stapleton's really good live. I really like him. Sometimes you got to find like new guys that are up and coming.
Parker McCollum's pretty good.
I love Parker McCollum.
Hidden talent.
Oh, I don't have any besides I play roller hockey.
You have your own Netflix accounts, or you share them? Like you still on like?
People steal my Netflix account.
Okay, so you're like the center of it, and
Like I tried to log in the other day again, and I couldn't get in my own Netflix.
that's still good though, because there's a lot of dudes playing the NHL making big money that are still on mom and dad's Netflix account, and that's my
know.
favorite.
Actually, we're using my wife's brother's Hulu account and Peacock account too. So
Hey,
I'm stealing some too.
Yeah,
gift card from any store.
Oh man, I just found this new store in Minnesota in the Galleria, Jackson Gray.
Yeah,
Love their stuff.
The boys like Jackson Gray.
they
We've
do.
been hearing that a lot.
Spurge, I think Spurge set that one.
Spurge might own Jackson Gray.
Yeah.
There's some sort of connection there, but it's working. How about last thing you binged watched, whether it was a movie or a bunch of TV shows?
Me and my wife just watched The Bear.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Yes, chef.
Because her family's in the restaurant business in St. Louis.
Charlie Gitto's?
Gito's.
Now tell me, what's Charlie Gitto's like?
It's an Italian spot that her grandfather started in 1974. So the original one is downtown. It's got shut down now because of COVID and everything. But yeah, her mom and dad and her brothers, they opened up the one on the hill, which is like the traditional one, like white fine dining, white tablecloth. And her uncle owns that one now. Her mom stepped out of that and took over downtown, and then her brother took over, and then with COVID. But her uncle went on her own and opened up a couple more.
Is that in Clayton?
No, that's in the Hill.
Okay, the Hill.
Yeah, the other one's downtown. So I don't know if you would have been there, Karch, but it's by the rink. It's like by Busch Stadium.
Okay. We used to stay at the Westin downtown there.
Yeah, so it would have been on 6th Street. So walk out of the Westin, walk to your left, and you just walk down 6th Street. It's right there.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
And who plays you in the movie? Who would be the actor that you would pick to play you?
Who? That's hard. You have to give me some names too.
You could do like Christian Bale, maybe. He'd have to like.
Who's the guy from Yellowstone?
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be good.
You want? Yeah.
He's got the look.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You'd be in the bunkhouse for sure. Do you have any others?
Just who's your favorite social follow?
Right now? Man. I don't know. So do you go down like a rabbit hole sometimes?
Yes, I did the other night
Yeah.
on a violinist.
Yeah, like I go down
What did the violinist look like?
a rabbit hole
And Antonio Brown.
a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but I do like the search thing, and then whatever you watch before, it always pops up, and
Yeah.
then like I see some funny and some most outrageous stuff. If you looked at my feed and what I sent to people and what they sent to me, you'd be like, "All right, you're nuts."
Yeah, no, that's a problem on Instagram, the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
If my wife grabbed my phone and clicked on that and saw the tiles that Instagram thinks I'm interested
You'd be in trouble.
that's a setback. That would be a long walk back. I do it for work. So you have any others on rapid fire?
No.
Should we do Halloween with him or with?
Yeah, let's do Halloween stuff.
So you were Black Swan. You were in a leotard. Was this last night?
That wasn't a leotard. That was like a straight up dress.
I think it was a leotard.
A leotard. Yeah. No, it was not last night. The Monday.
Where was that? Were you at was that at Billy's Sushi or like at a
Red Wagon Pizza.
Okay, because it looked like you were out and about. What do you got for top 3 costumes on the Wild in your opinion? Who brought it on Halloween?
Spurgeon's. Britney Spears was great. The Flurries was awesome.
Yeah, with the Edward Scissorhands, and he was a bush.
I feel like you in a leotard has to be on the podium too.
How did that feel?
How did I look?
That's not enough.
Who else? There was another good. Dr. Phil was good. Heartsy.
Did he have a makeup person come help him with that? That was serious. With
Yeah, he had like the whole
the skull cap.
and everything.
What was Goligoski? Because he's on a scooter.
Oh, that was really good.
And I was wondering if that was the
was
New York
him-
City story.
Him and Amanda were Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, okay.
And they rode it on a scooter. It was like a bike. It was unbelievable.
Someone was dressed as Brock Faber and his girlfriend, but then Faber maybe wasn't wearing a costume. Did he forget?
No, he was.
Clark Kent
He was.
kept his glasses
He
on.
was a kid.
Urkel.
No, Sandlot.
Oh, he was one of the characters.
He
from
was
Sandlot.
the guy that.
Benny Rodriguez?
No, the guy that falls in the pool. She was.
Oh, the lifeguard saves him.
Yeah, he kisses her.
See, we don't know anything, but so where do you want to start with this guy? I mean, should we go all the way back, like our normal approach, or how do you want to dig in with Mr. Maroon?
I do think that I need your hockey story because St. Louis has produced players over the years, but what's youth hockey in St. Louis like? And your path to the NHL seems pretty amazing.
For sure.
So, growing up, it wasn't as big now as it is now, but a lot of which helped St. Louis hockey for me, and growing up, a lot of alumni stayed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like Minnesota, but I feel like a lot of NHL players come out of Minnesota, so they always go back to their home. A lot of players in St. Louis that played there love St. Louis.
Yeah, like Mellenby and some of the guys from back.
Kelly
in the-
Chase, McInnes. Yeah.
Jeff Brown, Jackman, Keith Kachuk, Chris Pronger. So when you have these guys that want to help out and they want to help out youth hockey, and it started when I started coming up. I had Jeff Brown as my coach all through my 88 AAA. And to have someone like that that's played the game, that can teach you the game, that has resources to go play at the best tournaments and knows connections and can help the players move on and, just be an out for them. And I think, as you saw with the Matthew Kachuk draft and the Clayton Kellers and Trent Frederick, I mean, we had seven.
Luke Cunnin too. Like there's-
Luke.
Yeah.
And was Brady and Matthew in the same draft?
No.
I don't even know.
You
No,
don't
but
know.
they loaded. St. Louis was just on
We had
fire.
7. Logan Brown,
In that one draft, 7.
7 in the first round.
Oh wow.
Joseph Wool with the first pick in the second round. He's a Toronto goalie. So that group kind of set the bar. But for us growing up, we had the Cam Jansen of the world, so Paul Stasny's, the Jan Stasny's, Chris Butler, Ben Bishop.
Was Mike McKenna?
Mike McKenna. We had all these guys that we can look up to that are kind of paving the way. And then they did these skates when you got, in junior level, and you can go out and skate with the pro guys. And it was just good because we got to see. But St. Louis was never really on the map for hockey, I would say.
Right.
When I was playing. But now I feel like we're producing so many people out of St. Louis. And I think the alumni hockey and the new rink that we just built in Maryland Heights, St. Charles, where the Blues practice now. It's a 4-rink facility. And but, yeah, I think growing up, though, we didn't have any of that. But now with all the alumni coming back, Andy McDonald's coaching a team now. Alex Brooks played up and down a little bit. He was a minor leaguer defenseman. We played at Wisconsin. When you have all these guys that can come in and help, and, obviously their kids are playing too. Right. So you can funnel a bunch of kids in. But when I was playing, we didn't really have much, But now it's so fun to watch these kids grow up and see all these St. Louis kids play in the NHL.
So are you like, when you're a youth player in St. Louis, is it all AAA? Is it kind of like Detroit? You're on some super team, or is it association hockey? Like, what was your youth hockey experience like?
So in St. Louis, it's all address based. So there's like Merrimack, Afton, St. Peter's, Chesterfield, and you have to be in your region to play in that minor hockey. And then when you're old enough to play AAA, you're able to go and play
anywhere.
And we only had one AAA team growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Central States, which Afton Americans had, and they had a Central States team, which was like, if you don't make AAA, you go to play Central States if you don't want to play AA hockey. So I was in the Merrimack district at the time, and it wasn't a good program, but it was just, you had to stay in your region before you can move on to play AAA or Central States hockey.
So no college hockey for you.
I was committed to Fair State.
And then just professional offers came through or something? Like, I'll just go that route, or?
No, so when I got drafted to the OHL, after my midget minor year, I actually went up to camp in August. That was a year with when they won the Memorial Cup, and that was the first year of the Labatt Center. It was like Perry, Robbie Schremp, Dylan Hunter, all those guys. They went like 28-0 to start the season.
London Knights, yeah.
Yeah, like Mark Mathot, all those guys. And I actually went up there, and they wanted me to play. They wanted me to stay and play for Junior B. So I went and tried out for the Petrolia Jets. I got cut. I went up to try out for Stratford. I got cut. So I stayed the whole month and a half, and then I went back and I started playing AA hockey. And that was I didn't know what to do because I was kind of in a shell because the season's already started, tryouts already started, and so I was like, screw it, I'll just play AA hockey, have fun. And then the AAA team called, see if they can pick me up, and I went. I finished the year with them. Then I got tendered by Texarkana, Arkansas, and I went to camp and I committed to Fair State. So when I played 2 years of junior. After my senior year, I was committed to Fair State, but Dale Hunter came down, watched the playoff game, and Mark Hunter, and they really wanted me to come. So I had a decision to make in the summertime when my season was over, either Fair State or London Knights. So my dad wanted me to go to college, but I felt like, for me, I wasn't a college player at the time. Big, kind of slow college. It's a fast-paced game. I feel like major junior would maybe help me get to the next level, especially with those guys.
The team there.
The team.
Yeah.
And the coaching. So yeah, I was all over the map there for a little bit.
Where's your heart? Is it in St. Louis or Tampa now? I was looking at your Instagram. It looks like you bought some food at Monica's Mercado for a team. Are you like St. Louis or Tampa? How are you feeling about Minnesota? Like, where's your heart?
If you ask my wife, Tampa.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I'm everywhere. I don't care. I just want to go somewhere, and you probably feel the same way. When you retire, you have your friends from back home, but you kind of lose distance from them because they have kids. Maybe their job took them somewhere else, or everyone just kind of move on. And then you grow with, the guys you played with. I would rather go somewhere where there's a bunch of hockey guys that I'm close with and then live there. And I don't care where I live, to be honest.
So I think it's so great you were at Ryan McDonough's cabin when you signed with the Wild. That's like it's like a setup. It's how it would happen. Talk us through when Billy calls you. I think you're at McDonough's cabin. Maybe I have that wrong, but what did you know about Minnesota? What did you know about Billy G? And what's that conversation like? He's kind of a beauty himself.
Yeah, he is a beauty. We were actually at dinner when I got the call. Well, I got a text first from Tampa's GM. It was like, please call me. And I showed Macker, and I'm like,
That's such a power move, by the way.
yeah, I know.
I'm gonna text you to call me.
So I thought maybe.
My phone doesn't do outgoing
I'm not
calls.
calling you. Text me.
Well, the worst part was the day before he texted me all the guys that we signed in free agency. He's like, will you please text these guys and, send in your number and let them know if you need anything. Okay, no problem. I did that. And then the next day at 7:30 at night, he says, please call me, which I thought he was going to ask about a player, and so did Mac. But I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's traded me. We had a brief conversation, 2 minutes, and then I called my agent, Ben Hankinson, and I was like, I just got traded. He had no idea. And then I called Billy. Yeah, Billy was excited to have me. It's nice when you do get traded, someone really wants you, or they want you to be a part of their group. And we had a really good conversation. And for me, I'm just happy to keep playing the game I love and have an opportunity to come to Minnesota, which is a really good hockey club. And they seem, we seem really close, and it seems to be a team that's been there but just can't get over the hump. It's a lot of core guys have been here for so long, and it's a team that's determined and ready to win right now. And I think when you have that mentality coming into a locker room, it makes an easy transition because guys want to win, guys want to learn right away, and guys want to feel like if you come in, what can we do to do something different, or what do we need to do now, and how do we win? And I think that's a good sign. So I knew nothing about Minnesota, but I hated playing against them. They're a good hockey team, but like I said, it's when you go to stretches where you can't get over the hump, and maybe, for me, it's maybe I can have a voice or someone that can help and find a way where we can impact right away and make a difference, but also get this team to win.
You ever been traded in season?
Yeah, I've been traded at the deadline twice.
Yeah, that's the
worst.
It's just like mad.
Yeah.
Right? Like pack a bag, gone. Hey, see you later, everybody.
Yeah,
it just happens so fast.
Yeah, Anaheim and to Edmonton, and then Jersey to Edmonton, to Jersey.
Anaheim, Edmonton, Devils.
Did you have Bob Murray in Anaheim?
I did.
And who was the coach there? Was it
Bruce?
Oh, you had Bruce.
I had Bruce.
Yeah,
I had Randy for 2 games, and then I had Bruce for the rest.
Karts loves Randy.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of Randy.
He rents space.
Well, I
in
don't
Carter's
know who.
head right
I don't
now.
know who dislikes who more. If Randy dislikes me more, or if I dislike Randy more. It's up for debate.
Randy just doesn't like his fourth line, so I don't know. That's just
Or Americans.
or Americans. Yeah, one of the two.
American fourth liner right up there.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy said when he traded for you, we had him on right after. He said, Pat's going to drag people into the fight. And now you've had 3 cups. What is it in the postseason like? You've been around championship teams. It's so different than regular season hockey. When you're really going, like you went on that run, what are some of the ingredients that are there?
Well, I think people don't realize too, like when you're in a 7-game series and the ice shrinks, and are you willing to get the puck out? Are you willing to get the puck in? Are you willing to, eat a puck? Are you willing to, change something on the fly and change your game sometimes? Sometimes you need to change a game. And I think for me, learning over the years and watching, from St. Louis to Tampa, which St. Louis, we didn't really have any like, oh my God players, right? Tampa, we had a lot of oh my God players where, when they're struggling and through a 7-game series, the game gets tighter. Everyone's checking, the lines are matching, you're overloading your top line, but are those guys willing to, get the puck out? Are they willing to dump it in when it needs to be dumped in? And I think for me, the biggest thing for, third, fourth line, try not to get scored on one, but try to set the next line up. Go out there, have a heavy shift, play down below top of the circles, wear their D out, because the longer you do that and the longer you do over a 7-game series, the D don't want to go back and get it. They go, here we go again, and then it's annoying. I think the more times you do that, because the series isn't won in game one, it's won over time, and I think the team that does it longer and smarter over the course of the time wins. And I think the third and fourth line guys are set up for that kind of built of hockey because, they go into the dirty areas, they lean on guys, they make it hard on guys, they make it difficult, they're always in your face, and you just kind of play simple hockey, and, all the goals are scored around the crease. And I think if you keep doing that, it kind of sets up that next line to kind of create space for them and kind of let them kind of roam around, because if you're leaning on their D and you're playing heavy, that skill line can come back out there and hurt them.
Yeah, I always feel like the bottom six kind of wins the first round, and then all of a sudden that buys the top six time to figure out how to play, because it changes.
It changes fast.
It changes, and the grinders are good at it.
Yeah.
And they gotta outgrind the other team's bottom six for the first 4 or 5 games till those guys figure it out, and then the skill guys start to be like, okay, this is a war of attrition. We can't be making these plays all the time. Let's manage the puck and do all this stuff, and pretty impressive. But I want to get into inline. So I got a couple questions on this. So when did you start playing roller hockey? Do you think it made you a better on-ice hockey player? Because your style actually reminds me of another guy, Bobby Ryan, who was an inline guy.
I played with him,
I know, and your stick looks like his, but left-handed. Like, he had, like, the same pattern. Were you a Sherwood guy, too? Because he was a Sherwood guy. But, like, there's some parallels to it, and he's second overall behind Sid Crosby, talented player, skilled player, but still had like you have vision out there. You make plays offensively. I'm just curious, like, did the inline game help with some of that stuff?
Yeah, I started roller before I started ice hockey, and I loved it. My best friend from back home's dad owns an inline rink. He owns the building, and he had 2 roller hockey rinks, and I'd literally go up there every single day. Like, in the summertime, my parents would drop me off at like 9 o'clock, and I would stay until the first game. And I would just skate around and play and work on my hands, my game. But I really enjoy roller hockey. I play with Bobby. We had a team together. We were, as kids, as like 7 and 8 year olds.
Oh, you played inline with him?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant in Anaheim. I was like,
No,
yeah,
I played inline with him. My mom and his mom were like really close because they're both from New Jersey. And, me and Bobby go way back. From not even playing in Anaheim, from like literally playing with each other when we were 7, 8 to 10 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, I just grew up playing roller hockey. I fell in love with it. I think it helps so much of your game, your hockey sense, your one-on-one, your hands, your vision. And so I always felt like I wasn't the fastest skater, so I needed to find a different path of where I can find my game, where I can elevate my game. And it was roller hockey. And I was working on it.
This is crazy. So is your stick similar to Bobby Ryan's? Because like from the tape to like the length to the curve and everything, it's like it reminds me of Bobby.
We had the same stick until this year.
Really?
I changed my curve.
No
I had the
way.
same jury curve as him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always, and Bobby's like the only guy that would use that. And then I'm watching you. I was like, this guy reminds me of Bobby Ryan.
Man, you are an analyst. That is some details. That's impressive.
Yeah, we do the same puck thing on our white
On
tape.
the tape? Yeah.
We both have a really long stick.
Yeah.
And we both had the jury curve.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, he reminds me. But you have like the similar pace to passes, like similar hands too. Like it's weird. Like Connor McDavid has really fast hands,
Yeah.
you know? And Bobby had like smooth, like slower hands, but really good hands. And I think yours are more like Bobby's, where it's like the puck's settled, it's slow, like it looks good, you know? And I was like, the parallels were there. And I was like, is this inline hockey? I didn't know that.
What's the tape
identical.
job? What do you mean you put a puck thing on the blade? What do you
Just
I
Use a
I
puck,
use
like-
white tape,
Okay, white tape on the blade.
and then some guys use wax, but I use a puck.
Oh, okay,
to like gray it,
It's great a little bit,
I like
press the
that.
tape down.
just in case you have white tape and you don't get a couple passes.
Are you the same roller hockey style player as you are on the ice? Like, are you running around?
I'm completely
chirping
different.
people. so you go. You're like.
He doesn't see a corner in roller hockey.
Oh, so like, what's the Pat Maroon roller hockey archetype versus on ice?
What? So
What are you? How are you different?
I'm more of like a finesse skilled player.
Nice.
You're the Connor McDavid of roller
yeah.
hockey.
I like this. I
Generates
like
all your offense through the neutral zone.
I didn't want my head to get too.
It's
big.
okay if I say it. You didn't want
Yeah.
to say
I
it.
like that. So you're a high end top 6 guy on the roller. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Absolutely.
that.
Hey, you played with Teemu Selanne too, right? Like,
Yeah, I love that guy.
unbelievable, right? Have you ever seen somebody get dressed faster? Everything that dude does is straight speed. Like from on the ice, the way he skates, to the cars he drives, to changing from his street clothes into his hockey gear. Nobody does it faster than Teemu Selanne.
It's crazy.
Like, how was that guy?
He was the best guy, and I love that guy too. He was so good to me in Anaheim. You know, you play with all the same guys. The veteran group there were so great. But the first ever game, I was in the corner. You know the corner stall when you get called up.
Yeah, and
It was like Selanne, Getsy, Perry, and then that corner stall that they don't put anyone in. Well, I get called up. You know how Perry puts his stick everywhere?
yeah.
So I'm like, man, where's Teemu? Like, why? I
Yeah.
haven't seen him. And all of a sudden, it's like 20 on the clock. He comes in, he just puts his gear on. I'm like,
It's like he
whoa.
jumps in it.
And he's the first guy out.
It's like a squirt game.
It was nuts. But for me, that was cool because then he goes, did he do this when you played? He goes around the room and say, let's go, Gats. Let's go.
Yeah.
It was nuts. All in like 3 minutes, he was doing all this. I was like, this is insane. But anyways, I wasn't in that corner stall anymore because I kicked Perry's stick.
So he had you moved?
He moved me. I was like buried in the corner over there.
Oh, so good.
I mean, Teemu is like the James Bond. I mean, he's like the coolest guy of all time, right?
So my
He's
first
up there.
Yeah, my first game was in the playoffs, and at that point, Teemu, it was the West Final, and Teemu was already going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I couldn't settle like my heart down. I was on the bench. His first NHL game, West Final versus the Detroit Red Wings, and they were the real Detroit Red Wings. You know, like I was absolutely crapping my pants. And I think Teemu could see my heart beating out of my neck, you know. And at that point, he had never been that far in the playoffs in his life, you know. And here I am, first ever game. I was like, oh my gosh, don't ruin this for Teemu. And he could sense it. He just comes over. He's like, hey, don't worry about it, kid. Just go out and play. So that settled me down. I went out first shift, -1. Bertuzzi too.
Thanks for telling me to settle down, Teemu.
I was like, yeah, I could have played a little more intensity there. That was fun. The NHL really is legit. See you later, guys.
No, but he was a good guy. I was driving like when you get called up, they give you a rental car, and I was driving this like SUV Kia,
Nice.
and I was in the parking lot, and team was like, "That's what they gave you?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I don't know. Like, just happy to be here, man. He's like, "I'll bring you one of my trucks down." So he brought his like really fast truck, 4-door Dodge. I think it was like an S.
The SRT or something
yeah.
like that.
And he just gave me the keys and he goes, "Well, if you get sent down, just leave it at the rink and I'll come pick it up."
Oh my God. So now he owns a steakhouse in Laguna too. The guy is.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
I mean,
by the
that
way.
guy's unbelievable.
He's all entertainment too. So he had like acreage in Southern California. He had a team party, and we go over there, and it's whatever you'd want to do. He had it for you. He has like a golf course right in the yard. If you like fishing, he has like a pond full of fish. You wouldn't even know they're in there, and then he just throws a bunch of dog food, and then there's these huge ass fish all over in the pond. You go the other side of the street, you can ride horse. Like, this guy has everything, and he's just like, yeah, come over, just enjoy it, have fun.
Hey, I wanted to hear, so some of us predicted a Maroon-aissance at the start of the season. I'm not going to say who. Big points for Pat coming to Minnesota, some people thought. What's it been like? You started with the Deweys and you've been kind of rolling. What do you think of the room that you're in, the guys you've been playing with, the whole Minnesota experience? How's it been so far?
It's been good. The room's great. The guys are great. They've given me a nice warm welcome. It's nice to come into like a veteran room, and but it's been great. Obviously, the team right now, we'd like to be better. We're better start, but I think with injuries right now and obviously juggling some lines right now, but I think we're in a really good situation. It's still early in the year. I think we're a very, very good hockey team, and you just got to stay healthy throughout the year and make sure we're just in a playoff spot. And once you get in, anything can happen. But for us play, and I love playing with the Dews. They're workhorses.
The Dews.
They're good. It seems like for me right now, Dean has a lot of faith in myself and my game, and especially I thought us and the Dewers were playing really good. I thought we were playing really good hockey, creating some energy. We were scoring when we needed to, and I think that's what you need out of your fourth line. And then obviously getting moved up the lineup, that was nice, playing with JoJo and Eki and get an opportunity to do that again. And for me, I just take everything. I just go out there and play the game, and I try not to change my game as much. And I go out there and play as hard as I can and play simple. And if I can make a play, when the play's there, I can, right? So for me, I can obviously move up and down the lineup wherever, but I just try to stick to my game. And when the opportunity comes, you make those plays that you can make, and just kind of fill in wherever. But it's been good so far. Guys have been great, and hopefully we can string a couple together here. It seems like we win one, lose one. We have a good game, have a bad game, but just got to figure out what we got to find out. We have an identity. We just got to play to it, and we know how to play. It's just getting to our game right away.
Well, you had a 6-hour practice today, so you should be ready. I mean, I think it's 7 p.m. right now. We're recording this. So
Where'd you get the nickname Big Rig?
Cogliano. I was walking around the room one day, and he was like foam rolling. He's like, "God damn!" He's like, "You look like a semi truck." And my nickname used to be Fat Pat, like when I was a little kid. And that's what Bobby was so used to calling me, and he was calling me that when I was in Anaheim.
In the locker room?
Yeah, so
that's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade. So Cogs was like, "God, you look like a semi-truck." He's like, "I'm going to start calling you Big Rig." And then that's where the name came from.
That's great.
That's why Alexiak, because he played in Dallas, they call him Big Rig. So I think that's where it came from, too.
So my OG Pat Maroon story was there was a photo of you on eBay. One of the cups you won, shirt off, cigar. You had like a soccer towel on your neck. I can't find it anymore. I can't even find the photo. But I was.
What happens when you win 3?
Did I have a fedora or like one of
yes,
those?
a fedora. So
yeah.
which cup is this? What's happening? Do you have that photo? Would you sign it for the podcast or just for me? But like, what's going on? I want to hear about. You won 3. What was like your best day with the cup? And when you win your next one, what would you do with the cup? What was your best day with the cup, and when was that photo?
Oh, I mean, so I've only gotten 2 days with the cup because of COVID. Both days were great.
Do you get like an IOU?
I'm still waiting on them to email me back. I'm still waiting. When you win 3, you think you'd get 3 days.
Yeah.
But both days are great. When you have the day, you know how it is. It's just stressful.
It's like a wedding.
Both days were beautiful. Family, friends. It was just an all around good day. Bringing it to restaurants, bringing it to a rink, bringing it to my grandma, bringing it to my grandpa's grave. Like those things that mean the most to us, as a family. Watching my son just read all the names, I think that's cool. Watching my dad and brothers seeing the Stanley Cup, and I lived through them. I lived through my older brothers, and I watched them grow up and play hockey and going to the old arena, sitting on my dad's lap, watching, O.T. Hall and, all those guys back in the day. And for my dad, from being from St. Louis as a season ticket holder, the first one obviously meant a lot to our family. And but I think when you win the second one, it's remarkable. I think you don't realize how hard it is until you win, and then to go back and win again, and then to win again, it was just like, holy shit, this is like unbelievable. But I think it goes with like the core guys you're with, and are they willing to do it? Do they want to continue to do it, or is it just like you win one, you're like, okay, I'm content, or do you want to get greedy? And I think in Tampa we got greedy. We wanted more, and we always called it like, it was a COVID Cup. It wasn't like the COVID Cup. It was just like, whatever, it's COVID. Like, let's go prove the teams. People are chirping our team. Oh, you won during COVID. Well, okay, we'll show you. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to get greedy and prove teams wrong. And I think that's what it's all about, like the team chemistry and, are you willing to sacrifice another year? Because some guys you win, you're like, all right, let's just get through the year and have a nice summer, right? And I don't think we wanted that in Tampa. And we won the second one. We're like, all right, let's see if we can do this thing again. Our whole team's coming back. We might lose a couple guys, and I think that's cool. I think to see that and see the grind, to see the injuries that people go throughout the playoffs, see what guys are playing with, and the sacrifice, and the dedication to put your body through, pretty much another season. And but all the cups are great. St. Louis was special because it's my hometown. But Tampa was very special just to see the core guys come together as a group the first year. The bubble wasn't fun by any means. Away from your family, your kids. You don't see them for 3 months. They're not allowed in the bubble. It's a grind. And I think once we got past the first round, we're like, all right, let's go win this thing, right? But I think just the 3 years in Tampa that we went to the Cups 3 years in a row was just impressive.
Well, I remember even watching the series last year against Toronto. The thing with that Tampa group was you had to shoot the body 5 times when it was on the ground. It's like a Die Hard movie. Like, you had to put a stake in them. You had to keep shooting them even if you thought they were dead because they just kept coming in. Like you said, star players blocking shots, doing all the little things. And, I mean, that's really what, when we even started this podcast, it's about Minnesota's. We as a state need to get over the hump, and you were in Champa Bay, and I think St. Louis would have been a similar experience when they got that cup. It must have just been amazing. We should check your weather theory. So Carter has a theory that warm weather has an advantage right now in the playoffs. So if you look at kind of who's been winning.
For that reason that you're not hungry for summer.
Yeah, you're not just trying to get through the year.
Good weather all year round. Like, when you're playing in Edmonton for the entire year and then all of a sudden spring pops up and it's not so bad outside, like you lose this little like edge or this little hunger to win and to continue on. You get distracted by like the prospect of going fishing with your buddies and doing this. When you're in the South, you have that every single day. Yeah. You have 2 days off like the Wild just had. You'd run out to the ocean, you go fishing, you go golfing, you get that stuff out of your system. It's like you don't have that distraction late in the year. But if you look in the Sun Belt states like Carolina, Tampa, Florida's been good, Dallas, Anaheim, LA, Vegas, they all got cups, man. And then you go up north, nothing.
But he won in the bubble. He won in St. Louis, and he had a hot one in Tampa. So you think there's any merit to this weather theory? We got to weigh in from the 3-time champ here.
He's actually got a good point because in Tampa, like if we had days off or like 2 days like this, Coop gave a lot of days off, we would go golf. So it's like you said, it's out of your system, so you're not really craving to go do those things, or you take the family to the beach, I mean, those are the things we would do. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're in a colder, like when I played in Edmonton, you'd literally go from your garage to the rink to underneath the rink back to your garage in your house.
Sounds familiar.
And I think for me, I mean, that's just, and it's dark at like 3 o'clock, and you're like, whoa, what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're kind of stuck in your house with your family. Not saying that's a bad thing, but you can't really take your kids outside.
Right. It's just one of those things that over time, it's not a big deal in the short term, but over time, like it just makes the season a lot less long when you can get outside. You know, so there's like at the end of the year, that's how I always felt. Like I played in Anaheim, then I went up to Jersey, and we had success in Jersey too. But it was just like, man, it was nice in Anaheim. Like the season didn't feel as long, you know. And I don't know. And
The days go by fast for sure.
That's why I like this. I think we tell Billy, get to the playoffs. We're going to post up down in Tampa.
Yeah.
We're going to go to this Charlie Gito's.
That's in St. Louis.
Shoot, that's not going to work. Okay, we're going to go down to
we can
Tampa.
stop on the way.
We're gonna post up in Tampa, get a field house. You just tell them, as long as we keep winning, we're here. We'll fly from Tampa. We're gonna golf. You're on vacation till you win the cup. I think it's a totally new model.
Yeah.
People are trying different stuff. They're going for it on fourth down on the 20.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, how's your fantasy team doing? The absolute. I mean, as you're a creative guy, what are you? The Big Moose Rig? Is that your? And what's your record? How you doing?
I think we're 2-5 or 2-6. We suck.
No.
Marcus drafted.
Marcus drafted. I had nothing to do with our
You
team.
didn't. Okay, but you've been. I heard you're pretty hands-on making changes and stuff now.
I haven't made a change once.
Okay, so you're 2-5.
I texted Moose once. I was like, hey, we probably need a couple trades here, no?
Did you have injuries or what happened to you?
I don't know. I don't even have to log into my fantasy team, so I'm just pretty much donating $500.
He boxed you out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, that's good to know.
I got a question. Smelling salts have evolved over time too. You start the game with smelling salts.
Yeah, I do.
Do you still use the old glass pack break ones, or
We
do you
don't have
the jar
one.
now?
We have the jar.
And what do you think of the jar?
I love the jar. It's strong as hell.
Stronger. Yeah, it knocks you off your seat. You know, if you catch a fresh jar now, you're toast. You know,
The
like,
jars are nuts.
I know.
I didn't realize it the first game. I put it in my nose in preseason. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just like literally needles to your brain. Like,
Well,
They don't make those anymore, I heard.
like the little glass ones in the
where
paper.
you can get them on Amazon. I did it for beer league. They don't seem super safe and they leave a mess. They
How
turn
many beers
red.
do you drink after your game?
I go. We do a couple tequila sodas
Before?
after. I don't drink before. I'm really bad. So like if I drank before, it would not be good.
Maybe it could unlock some skill.
I do a thing though. I think you'll appreciate this. Whenever I score, I give $100 to our waitress and say everybody's first drink is on me. So it's kind of like a
Motivation for you to score.
it's
So you don't score.
So he's kept.
I don't
he's kept
score.
100. He's kept 100 in his wallet for 3 straight years.
So I've spent about $200 this year. But if I could get a goal like you had off the boot the other night, that was like a high skill play. But even a beer leaguer just loved that. What was that goal like when you just kicked it to yourself all the time in the world? That had to feel pretty good.
No, I get my first goal as a while. It was good.
That's a good one. The way it went down too.
Lucky
Showing the
I'm
speed.
still mad
Showing the
that
speed breakaway.
Yeah, so much speed. So much speed. I'm shocked I didn't get caught. No, I was shocked though. His hand wasn't up for hooking or holding at one point. But no, it was good. I found it at my feet, and I had a little bit of time to lift it there. So it's nice when you get tighter to the goalie. I feel like the goalie's back up, and you have a little more space. When you have time, and like when you're on the rush. But when I have too much time, I mess it up.
So back to beer league. Now you're not supposed to sneak beers into a lot of the rinks around here, but there was a clip that I watched of you on the podium after a playoff game, muffling the sound of opening a beer.
Yeah, it's in the Pat Maroon doing Pat Maroon things video, which is the best video on the internet.
Is there an art to the muffled beer open? You learn it.
Was this which one was
I think
this?
you learn it back of the
Tampa.
bus, so it's like.
Hey, is this bad content if he watches Pat Maroon doing Pat Maroon things and just tells us some of the backstories? Because we're going to do this. We can cut it out.
Well, that was now since COVID, there's a media and staff bus, and now there's just a player staff. Now you can just go right away.
Yeah. Because
Back then, when I first came in the league, it was the GMs and
You
the
just have-
coaches were
yeah,
all in the
exactly.
front. And you're like, we just got pumped 7-1. Or you put it in your carry-on bag. You put it underneath. And you're like, there it is.
Let's do a little taster on this here. Hold on, I gotta find this. It's Pat Maroon.
Am I just doing stupid things?
Pat Maroon being Pat Maroon.
this is where I saw the smelling salt. So
Yeah,
too, but I knew that the smelling salt game has evolved.
So here we go. Just give us a little.
I'm just being. That's what I do every game.
That's the old smelling salt.
That's what I do every game.
The chicken is great.
That was during the playoffs.
That's a shaved beard there. Do you clean off the beard once a year?
Yeah, I do.
What time of year?
I'll clean it up a lot.
This is good audio for everyone. This is one of the best. There it is.
I was at dinner, our second Stanley Cup in Tampa. My two Frenchies,
What are their names again? The dogs?
Bernie and Blue. No, this is at the Cardinals game when I threw out the first pitch.
I mean, it's a masterpiece. You should watch that every morning before.
So who was your stylist in South Florida? Pat Riley?
For
You know who Pat Riley is?
No.
So he used to coach the Heat in Miami, remember?
oh yeah, Pat Riley. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he had the same hairdo,
Oh,
like
yeah.
full slick.
The slick back.
Yeah, it's almost like he passed the torch to you. So it went from Pat Riley in the Heat to Pat Maroon in the Lightning.
I used to have a shaved head.
When?
That's a lot of growth then.
So, and then I like kind of styled it. Then I started styling, letting it grow out. And then during COVID, I just said, screw it. I'm just
Couldn't get it cut for a while.
No, so I just grew my hair out. And I kept letting it grow and grow and grow.
And you had a hair company, Letty Dressing.
I did, yeah.
How did that go? What was the product situation?
So, I'm sure you guys all know this kid. He's funny. He's from Minnesota, actually. Freezer tarps. The
yeah.
The Zinnichinos, whatever.
Yeah.
We talked about him doing Let's Play Hockey. Do you think we could actually hand that kid the mic and nothing bad would happen?
No, I don't think so. I can get you to get him here.
Well, I
He would
just
love
think
that.
he would be an
Yeah,
amazing.
he would be
We need it.
hilarious.
He's top of my list. We
Yeah.
got to get to him.
He would be good on your pod too.
So he
Yeah, he
was involved with the
So he reached out to me. He was going to the University of Tampa.
okay.
So how he started his page, he gave me a little background, was all of his buddies played junior hockey and high school hockey for Minnesota. And he was a golfer. So he was golfing at UT. And then he just loved how hockey guys talked. And then that's how that came about.
Well, hey, Freezer Tarps, reach out to Wild on
and then
7.
he was doing like those parties, and then that's how he blew up. They would take their shirts off and they'd put them in the freezer at like a house party, and then they'd take them off and put it back on because obviously house parties in college are probably gross.
He's a great follow too. He is just
So yeah, he reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. I said yeah, and we got it up and running. Was doing good, and I was too busy with hockey. I couldn't keep posting about it. It was just too much for me, and I walked away from it. But he's blown up massively now. He's
got talent too, though. Like
Yeah.
he's a
funny.
good time.
he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be. We got.
So I think he was doing his thing, and I think his freezer tarps, and now the Zinnichinis, whatever it's called, has blown up, and now he's making his own chew.
Yeah.
It's like coffee and it's like caffeine stuff. So we were too busy.
The slick back is always solid though. You go bucket off in warm ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great feeling, right? It
Oh,
has
it's the
to
best
be.
feeling in the world.
I
That's
just-
one thing I'll miss.
I mean, that is. If I could just do one thing, I just want one warm up.
We should get you out there for warm-ups, man.
Just one warm up.
One warm-up.
Duster lap, $100 on the board.
You haven't seen me skate.
He's got the first round.
Be careful. Yeah, if I score, I'll definitely chip in $100. We go to Herbie's or something. You got anything else?
No, we should let him get out of here. It's been a long day, but appreciate you stopping by, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Patty. Glad you're here.
Well, how entertaining was that? Pat Maroon, that was great. I know that was a long podcast. Great interview. Appreciate you guys sticking around. If you like it, give us the old thumbs up on the YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll try to spit out some more. So thanks, Kinger. We're here
Till it's here.